Anderson was formerly known as Stevel, former 3-time FGW Tag Team Champion. No longer officially with this company, lost his contract when he lost at Origins 5, and earlier, right in the head. Kimera, again resorting to those dirty tactics before I can even finish my thought, before Steve-O can turn around. Excuse me, that's Steve Anderson.
And you know, JC, I have noticed that Benjamin Kimera has been getting a lot more violent lately. I mean, obviously what he did to Nicole and Pete last week, what he's just done to Stevel here, I do apologize.
I don't have a problem, per se, with what happened to Nicole. Nicole jumped in front of that chair. But the fact is, the fact that he laughed at what took place, the fact that he, who knows what kind of damage he did to Nicole. Steve Anderson bleeding on the ramp, by the way, but his reaction, that was what got me. I have done some vile things in my career. I've done some dirty things in my day. There's no disputing that. But for him to attack my broadcast partner, react the way he did, there's no place for that here in FGW. There's not.
There isn't, JC, and I do agree, even though you have done some dastardly deeds in your time, no judgment here, but you have never done anything like Benjamin Kimera. I will agree with that.
And Steve Anderson busted wide open. That chair right to his skull.
But
he is, on wobbly legs.
I don't know, JC. The original monster here looks like he is definitely trying to fight through the pain.
Well, this man, Steve Anderson, once known as the Queen City Killer, has seen his share of hardcore, no holds barred, roughneck matches in professional wrestling. Not something he's a stranger to. Being busted open, he's been there. But now, at the very beginning of this match, having endured that, having to compete against the competitor, the caliber of Benjamin Kimera, well, Steve, he has got his work cut out for him.
Yes, he does, JC. And to be honest, I cannot fathom what it's going to be like starting this match with a busted head like that.
Right hand from Kimera repeatedly to Steve Anderson. Taking it to the open wound of Anderson.
Trying to bust that wound open a little bit further. Steve Anderson here, JC, I don't know how he's gonna make it through this match. I mean, I understand he is one of the original monsters here at FGW.
Oh, right to the face of Kimera.
Well, that answers my question. There's a lot more fight in Steve Anderson than we really thought.
Come on, Steve-O!
Chop across the chest. Kimera again with a shot to the head of Anderson.
But you know, JC, the FGW faithful did not seem to appreciate the way Kimera started this match, because if you recall, Steve Anderson has not been here since Origins. And that came a defeat at the hands of Shield Wall, which is actually what split Roach up.
As Kimera continues to dissect Anderson.
But you know what I'm noticing, JC, is he was smiling there almost to the same degree that you were mentioning about the way he was laughing about Nicole.
Which is fine. You know what? Steve Anderson, whether he's officially part of FGW or not, he is a competitor. Nicole Delisle is not a competitor. She dove in front of her husband. How about that jawbreaker from Steve Anderson to Kimera?
And unfortunately, JC, I do have to agree with you on both parts. Not only did Nicole absolutely take the shot for her husband, but on top of that, it really was unnecessary to do to somebody who is just a commentator.
Kimera going for that clothesline. Anderson out of the way. The shots to Steve Anderson, right to the face, right to the jaw, right to the head. And I said it once, I'll say it again. Kimera did not intend to do what he did to Nicole, what I found classless was the way he reacted to it. I spoke nothing but the praises of this man. Kimera, so capable. He is a veteran. He knows this business inside and out. The rear chin lock to Steve Anderson right now. Steve is, I said it again. I said it once, I'll say it again. He's got his work cut out for him in there with Benjamin Kimera.
And JC, to that point, you almost got to wonder if he's got double the work cut out for him because he is used to being a tag team competitor, and here is a one-on-one match.
Cover. Kimera has spent plenty of his career as a single star, as has Steve.
That is correct, but if I recall correctly, and you may have to correct me on this one, JC, but if I recall correctly, Benjamin Kimera used to have a tag team partner that he worked with for several years.
Again, he is a seasoned tag team star. He has also spent a long time in his career as a singles competitor. Benjamin Kimera, all of his experience, more than 20 years, he can do it all. That is the point I'm making. It's Steve Anderson finding that out the hard way.
Excellent point, JC, because you are correct. The more I sit here and think about it, Benjamin Kimera really has been everywhere and done everything, especially as long as he's been in this business. So,
Anderson stalking Kimera. Kimera answering
that
Steve's
experience.
assault with a knee lift, an elbow to the back of the head. Steve Anderson down. Kimera with his attention on Steve Anderson, who is in a defensive position at this time.
And just like that, it looks like the situation has been reversed, JC. Looks like Kimera's in the defensive now, and Steve Anderson is on the offense.
Anderson taking down Benjamin Kimera. Steve Anderson, he needs to capitalize right now, real quick and in a hurry. He needs to put away Benjamin Kimera in any way he can.
You know what I did notice there, JC, is when Benjamin Kimera hit the ground, he was actually favoring his left arm, something you don't see from Benjamin Kimera very often, actually feeling the effects of a shoulder tackle.
Flatliner from Steve Anderson. Kimera goes face first. But hold on. Kimera's arm draped over Steve.
Unfortunately, Kimera was still over top of Steve, which technically necessitated a pinfall.
Steve Anderson had his shoulders down.
Unfortunately, one of the rare instances you can see a move going backwards on the executor right there.
Well, that is telling in this regard. It looks like that Steve Anderson might not have quite as much to give as Benjamin Kimera does at this point. Even though Steve Anderson's trying to get this crowd to their feet. That is what I'm talking about. Kimera just like that. Haymakers to the face of Steve. Anderson down. That experience from Kimera. Very showing in what we just witnessed.
Very much so, JC, and I don't think Steve has moved since he took that haymaker, because it looks like he is just it absolutely looks like Kimera has finally taken advantage of this match, and Steve Anderson is not going to be able to respond.
It was like watching Evander Holyfield in between these ropes. Just knocking Steve on his back.
And you see Kimera taunting Steve Anderson, trying to get the crowd to chant for him. The referee at a 7 count. Steve will trying to find his way up on those ropes,
That's
pulling.
not Steve, that is Steve Anderson. Steve lost his career here at FGW. And it looks like that's a Cobra clutch.
And again, that experience of Kimera showing through there, as it looks like he's got that very deep under the chin, and the referee can do nothing about it because it is not an illegal chokehold right now.
Actually, I said that was a Cobra clutch. That looks more like a Kata Hajime.
You are correct there, JC.
And that is a...
That is the move that was made famous by Taz, also known as the Taz Mission. But even though he had it in there, it didn't look like he had the right hand position. But it seems to be effective, as Steve cannot answer the referee's 3 count for the hand drop.
by knockout, Benjamin Kimera.
That maneuver is all about pressure, and the pressure that was applied to the larynx of Steve Anderson is what we are seeing the result of. Steve Anderson down. He's out. Kimera's victorious very decisively.
Yes, it was.
And the winner of the match, Benjamin Kimera.
Going right back to that classlessness, JC, that you mentioned earlier, having Bryce reintroduce him as the winner.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your accomplishments.
But JC, even you, somebody who is a proud man himself, this is a little excessive, don't you
I
think?
don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think what happened with Nicole Delisle, yes. This, no.
Is one of the best wrestlers ever in this territory. I love him. I respect him. I think Steve is a fantastic guy. He's a great performer. He's one half of the best tag team ever in this territory. Listen here. The spectacle of Fearsome Acts should send you flying the other way, Alpha Sigma Sigma. It should send you running for the ship's shield wall. Because next week it looks like we got a little bit of a triple threat tag. And if I tell you the truth, how much I love and respect this guy, take a look here. See, take a look there. I love him. I respect him. Now think, Alpha Sigma Sigma, what would I do to you for those FCW Tag Team Championships? What am I gonna do to you next week at Curtain Call to win those belts? You think long and hard if you even want to show up.
Order everything on the Golden Crown menu.
You got a week to figure it out. I'll see you next week. Shut up, Hippie Longstocking.
JC Flash, a very, very dark threat from Ben Kimera.